Authorities in Costa Rica telling NBC News that Warner accidentally drowned while swimming in the ocean on Sunday. Warner is best known for, of course, his Emmy-nominated role as Theo Huxtable, Cliff's son, on The Cosby Show.
Rican Beach, where officials say a dangerous rip current swept away Malcolm-Jamal Warner. The Cosby Show star drowning in secluded paradise on Sunday.
What makes that beach so treacherous?
You know, it's similar to other beaches where there are strong rip currents that are deceiving.
Mike Geist helps run a volunteer lifeguard organization here. He says while no lifeguards were on duty that day, Geist's friend, who happens to be a trained lifeguard, was there to surf and discovered Warner unresponsive in the water.
You know, the first thing that they do is they bring him to the surface and give the emergency respirations.
Right there?
Right there.
In the water?
In the water on the surfboard. And when he didn't respond to that, my friend rapidly took him into the beach and they immediately began CPR.
There are some details that just hit you like a dump truck, and Malcolm-Jamal Warner's passing is the last thing that so many of us expected to hear the moment that happened. He's one of those people that you just don't expect to die so young and so soon because of how positive he was, and he was good at everything he did. So many people loved him. While Hollywood and his loved ones mourned his tragic death, Lisa Bonet, who played his sister for 8 years on The Cosby Show, hasn't said anything. And word is that she is also finding it difficult to believe that he would just go out like that. Is there something that Lisa Bonet knows that we don't? Or is this really just a case of Malcolm-Jamal being gone too soon?
And I've got my head on straight, my soul and dignity is intact. Like, I've had a really wonderful journey, and a lot of that really had to do with, you know, my mom and my dad as well.
The topics on the podcast. What do you got? What are some of the topics you guys cover?
Malcolm-Jamal Warner definitely created a legacy to be proud of. And this is what makes his death hit home even more. From the time he was 14, Malcolm-Jamal Warner blessed our screens by appearing on The Cosby Show, where he brought the role of Theo Huxtable to life so easily. As the show came to an end, there was a lot of worry that Malcolm-Jamal would stumble on the same pitfalls that have plagued so many of popular child actors, and that he would find the transition from child to adulthood difficult. But he proved us all wrong. He went on to have roles in other TV shows like The Resident, Suits, and Read Between the Lines. And when he wasn't on TV, Malcolm was doing his own thing as a musician and a poet, where he even won a Grammy for his work on Robert Glasper's Black Radio 2. Then he went on to win yet another Grammy for his cover of Stevie Wonder's Jesus' Children. He also invested back into the Black community through projects like his podcast, Not All Hood, where he shined the light on Black culture, and he was already preparing to go even harder with the second season for the podcast. So just imagine our surprise when we heard that someone with so much life and positivity and love had died so tragically, and while on vacation. Malcolm was out in Costa Rica with his family and had gone to the beach to have what was supposed to be a fun and relaxing day. But Malcolm was caught up in a strong rip current where he was playing with his daughter and ultimately passed away from accidental drowning.
This is the beach where this shocking incident unfolded over the weekend, and you can see behind me right now, there is a red flag up telling beachgoers to not go in the water. And of course, those flags can change with conditions throughout the day, but there's a sign when we pulled up to the beach here that warns people about the risk of the current, about the risk of going in these waters. And of course, we now know that for Malcolm-Jamal Warner, going in these waters over the weekend proved to be deadly. A source close to the actor tells us that he was on vacation with his wife and his young daughter when a day at the beach went terribly wrong.
As soon as the news broke, celebs started pouring in condolences and letting people know what a bright light that Malcolm-Jamal was to them. Even Bill Cosby, who played Malcolm-Jamal's father on The Cosby Show, later said that losing him felt like losing his own son again. Still, there's one person who hasn't said a word about what happened to Malcolm-Jamal, and that is Lisa Bonet. See, back in the day, she played the role of Denise Huxtable, Theo's sister on The Cosby Show, and even when she decided that it was time to leave, the two of them still had a very good relationship, even after she went on to do some other things in her life.
Friends, you're like a family.
I'm an only child also, so it's kind of neat having brothers and sisters, and I think we pretty much work like a family. We get in arguments and we disagree and we laugh and we love. So
So the word is that when the news of Malcolm-Jamal's death broke, Lisa didn't take that too well, especially with all of the conflicting reports that came out that day. The first report claimed that Malcolm-Jamal had been in the water playing with his daughter when a strong current came along and took them further into the ocean. According to that report, surfers were around and quickly brought the two of them back to shore. However, Malcolm-Jamal had already passed away. But then there was another report that came out, and it said that Malcolm-Jamal had left his daughter on shore and went to swim by himself, and that's when he got caught up by the current. So which is it? Was he there alone when he was found, or was there someone else with him? Also, even though Malcolm-Jamal rarely got into any scandals, especially publicly, it was even more complicated than that. Recently, he had been speaking out about how hip-hop music had gotten so negative over the past few years, and Malcolm-Jamal was very critical about how hip-hop, which was very much rooted in Black culture, had become very much anti-Black, and how artists were incentivized to make this kind of music, even though it does nothing but damage the community even further.
Right? Conscious hip hop isn't getting exposure. The messages in hip hop that get the exposure are misogyny, murder, mayhem, and disrespect of fellow Black people. Right? That's not all of the hip hop that exists.
Right, but that's what mainly.
That's what gets. Yeah, like you can't have a popular hip hop song without using the N-word.
Or calling women horrible names.
Yeah. It's like our Black music has somehow become anti-Black.
And Lisa allegedly believes that Malcolm-Jamal being so critical about hip-hop right now may have gotten him caught up with some people who weren't too happy about what he was saying. Another thing that Malcolm-Jamal just so happened to be annoyed about was how they pulled the Cosby Show off air permanently. He never defended Bill Cosby, but Malcolm-Jamal always made it clear that he believed the punishment was not the same level as what some other actors, and especially white actors, got when they were accused of similar misconduct. Even when other white actors had been accused of doing terrible things, their shows and movies were not taken off the air, and the only person he had ever seen this happen to was Bill Cosby. Also, Malcolm-Jamal admitted that taking reruns of the show off the air did hurt his pockets, but he wasn't the only one going through it, because those reruns were a major source of income for most Black actors that were on the show. They weren't just punishing Bill Cosby for his actions, but also of all of the other talented actors who were responsible for bringing the show to life. And Malcolm-Jamal never believed that that was the right thing to do. So could it be that Malcolm-Jamal touching on some very touchy subjects probably got him on the wrong side of the industry execs who didn't like what he was saying? Word on the street is that Lisa Bonet believes that that is exactly what happened, and that's why she wasn't quick to speak out, because she's still trying to process it all. Regardless of what happened, Malcolm-Jamal Warner lived a life that he was proud of, and now everyone is remembering him for the icon that he was to our childhood and the community. Some celebrity deaths hit harder, maybe just because they embody your childhood or adolescence in a more powerful way than others. I feel like I've known Malcolm-Jamal Warner my whole life. Prayers for his family. Malcolm-Jamal Warner's death will never sit well with me. He was such a gentle soul. R.I.P. I had to go outside for a minute and take deep breaths as tears streamed down my face. Malcolm-Jamal Warner's death will never sit right with me. We are collectively mourning our 80s and 90s crush, brother, and friend in our heads. This makes no sense. And I'll just say this, the world really did lose one of the kindest, most genuine souls, and I hope that his family and loved ones are comforted during this time.
You know, life is out here lifing. Right, for me and for everybody else. But just wanted to remind you, as I remind myself, that no matter what's going on, there's always a reason to smile. Like if you just take a minute to stop and take stock, I guarantee you can find at least one reason to smile. And if for some reason you can't find a reason to smile, then that's probably the best time to be the reason for somebody else's.
On that note, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments, and y'all make sure you hit that like and subscribe button real hard, because the next story isn't one you want to miss. And I'll see you then. Bye, baddies.